camera. Just making love to the camera. That's all this is. Yeah, I'm ready. We ready?
Okay.
And in 3, 2, 1. About 7 weeks ago, here in America, we launched the Affordable Care Act's health insurance exchanges. This was supposed to be the big monumental point in the Affordable Care Act. This is the centerpiece to the Affordable Care Act. 2 different options, state exchanges. Only about 16 states took part in that, Minnesota being one of them. Federal exchanges. Many states took part in that. North Dakota, one of them, that is involved with those federal exchanges. Now, when we first talked about this, it was a week after the rollout. There were a lot of glitches, a lot of crashes, but I was confident that these things were going to get worked out within a reasonable amount of time, and people are going to be able to get on with their lives with these websites, and we'd see things progress. Boy, was I mistaken in that, because almost 2 months later, the story and the drama of the Affordable Care Act continues to get worse and worse and worse. More and more things continue to happen with it. Issues continue to prop up left and right. Let's start with the original issues. Let's start with what was originally the problem. The website didn't work. Now that's a problem. People weren't able to log on. At least with the MNsure website, it was operational later in that original day. The federal one went up and down, was online, was offline. In fact, at one point, wasn't even operational for, well, the whole time a particular committee hearing was in fact going on. Lots and lots of difficulties with it crashing. Now, there were a lot of excuses right away by the administration. It was so popular. 19 million people logged on. Yeah, you angered 19 million people. I don't think that's a positive when that many people log on and it's that big of a problem. Then the second shoe fell in the whole Affordable Care Act process. People began to get the letters that their health insurance was being canceled, that their health insurance policies were no longer going to be offered. After repeated dozens and dozens of statements by the president during his campaign for the Affordable Care Act and after, that if you liked your health insurance, you're going to be able to keep your health insurance. It turned out to be a bold-faced lie. What the president should have said is, if I like your health insurance, I'll let you keep your health insurance. Because the true fact was, and the health insurance companies knew it, that the policies that did not meet the standards of the Affordable Care Act, by law, they would not be allowed to offer. They knew 5% of the country would lose their health insurance. This administration knew. Why didn't they take this seriously? Why did 15 million people losing health care not be seen as a problem to this administration? Because he figured you'd be happy. I mean, after all, you were buying substandard policies. These policies were no good, according to the president. You were going to get to now buy a policy that was better for you, approved by the government, covered more, wasn't a meansy-wincy, skimpy, bad policy. Problem is, people don't want those policies if they can't afford them, and that's been the issue. It's 3 times more expensive in states like South Dakota for an individual person, young person under age 35 to get insurance than it was before the Affordable Care Act. That's your target audience, under 35. You need those people in your insurance rolls in order to make it solvent, something that the Affordable Care Act's really at risk of losing right now. So after people began to lose their health care coverage, and, well, we'll go to the next thing after that. Then the president says, well, we'll allow you to keep your health care coverage for a year afterwards. He tells all the health insurance companies they can. Health insurance companies are basically slapping themselves in the face because they don't have the time to go back and redo all these policies. Prices are set. The only way they can do that, premiums have to go up. That's why Minnesota, you will not have the option to buy that plan back for last year if you like it, even though the president says so, because Governor Dayton says he will side with the insurance companies, not with Obama. There is no last year policies being purchased here in the state of Minnesota. Then it came out that we have huge security issues on the website. Now it's come out the website is 30 to 40% not even completed yet. And it turned out that the president actually knew all this way back in March. So my question, Mr. President, is why did we launch that in October? Were you so afraid of the political fallout from your signature piece of domestic legislation, which you obviously let falter and did not let come to fruition, being used against you politically? You just rolled the dice anyway? How's it working out now? I've come to one conclusion here. The Healthcare Reform Act has to be delayed. I don't know if it's 6 months. I don't know if it's a year. This website will not be ready by November 30th. Therefore, people will not have a great opportunity to be enrolled by January 1st. In my opinion, it's a no-brainer. It's common sense. This needs to be delayed. Or maybe it is time that we talk about scrapping it altogether. This thing blew up on the launch pad. The rocket never got into space.